Hey guys, just doing this pickup for the beginning of this episode to let you know that the audio files for this episode, saying episode a lot, got corrupted. So we are using the phone audio instead of our microphones. Gonna make it sound a little more echoey than normal. I do apologize for this, and we are hoping to correct this in the future. So please give a warm welcome to Past Me. Okay, welcome back to Table Talk, guys. I'm going to be your host today, Robert, and I'm accompanied by Nathan and Lewis.
Sup? What's up?
We have a very special announcement today. It is Lewis's birthday.
Pop it, pop, 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 pop.
He is officially a man. He is now 21, and we will buy him a prostitute.
Out of pocket, pussy.
If the camera shakes at all during this episode, we are actually filming in the morning instead of in the morning, 10 instead of 2 a.m. like usual.
Yeah.
And so the puppies are awake, and they are currently running around. So
they'll make some guest appearances.
Yeah, if you hear any dog fighting or the camera shakes a little, I apologize, but puppy's gonna puppy.
Yep.
And for today's episode, we are gonna be discussing Valve/Steam, stuff along that lines. Continuing where we were last week with the quiz. So I know Lewis asked us a little last week, but for us, that was about 2 weeks ago, so I'm going to ask again. What's your guys' history with Valve/Steam?
I mean, I've been kind of on Steam since 2018-ish, 2017, kind of. Once I got my gaming laptop when I started school, kind of got into that. My first aspects of PC gaming, so of course whenever you start PC, it's like, what games are available? I know about Steam. So kind of around that time, so it's been, 8 years? Going up, 7, 8 years. Seems crazy, but yeah.
So, I have a similar history. 2019, graduated high school, started college, got my laptop, and I started playing with these fuckers on Steam, downloaded Brawlhalla because that was the only thing that my laptop could run because it was a piece of shit. And, started fucking playing on Steam that way. Started amalgamating games that I just couldn't play because they were on sale, but I'm like, fuck it, might as well buy it for when I have a PC. A few years later, during the GPU shortage, COVID, Robert helped me buy a PC. We got it all set up, was able to actually play my Steam games. And then came the next phase in my Steam development, looking for a headset, a VR headset. Considered the HTC Vive.
Vive?
Yeah.
Isn't it called Vive?
Vive, no, it's Vive. Well, that's like a Spanish word. It might be Vive, but...
I'm pretty sure it's called the HTC Vive.
Vive, with the tilde. But the Vive, Vive, whatever the fuck you like to call it, prostitute, the incredussy, Miss Incredible in the pocket pussy.
I just showed you that meme.
So, yeah, looking for a VR headset, wanted to get it. But it's kind of expensive. Premium, but it would have been the superior choice. I ended up getting an Oculus.
I think everyone just gets like a Meta Quest 3, $300 and less. I think I got it too for $250.
Really good.
That price is really hard to beat for just entry level VR.
Exactly.
You don't want to drop $1,000. I mean, that was as much as you spent on your PC.
Yeah.
On something that, I
I only watch porn on my VR headset like once every 6 months. So.
I mean, Lewis is the guy to make those first person videos for.
Hell yeah. And so, that's it. What about you, Robert? I know you have a little more experience, especially recently with Steam.
Yeah, so I'm actually going to correct myself from the quiz. I actually started using Steam about in 2015. I have a similar history to Lewis, using a crappy laptop. I think it was like an Intel dual core.
Oh, hell
no. Because 2015, that was about the time where Subnautica was popular.
Yeah.
The FNAF games. So what my sister and I would do is we would plug my crappy computer up to the big screen TV in the living room, and one of us would be sitting on the floor playing FNAF, while the other one sitting on the couch at 2 a.m. So that's how I started with Steam. Crappy laptop.
Oh, yeah.
I got a gaming PC in 2018. Everyone's got their first full-time job, and I like computers. Why not spend my money on computers? I wasn't allowed to spend it on car stuff.
Yeah. Also, it would be a waste for him to spend it on car stuff because the car he had at the time, instead of like having coolant, he just had to like have 8 gallons of water with him at all times.
So I bought the PC after.
Yeah, you had to fit at the time.
Yeah, so the Volkswagen, it was given to me with a broken water pump. And so I just had like 5 gallons of water in the back seat, and if I drove more than like 8 miles, it started overheating and it just dumped all the water out.
No, we were closer. I changed out my water pump on a Buick whenever I was in high school.
Yeah, but you had like, the Buick was rear wheel drive, right?
No, the front wheel.
Front wheel?
Yeah.
Oh, damn. Yeah.
But granted, the water pump is like right there next to the alternator, so it was like very easy. Just like a few bolts, take off the serpentine belt, and then the new one, bleed it.
This was a Volkswagen. Nothing is easy.
That's fair.
So that blew up trying to outrun a hurricane, and I got, a Honda Fit, which I did some stupid stuff with. Twin 12s and a Honda Fit, man. That shit slapped.
You should have kept it though.
I was given the 2013 Civic Si.
I know.
And
And then I blew it up.
yeah, you killed my car.
Oh yeah.
You killed my dream car.
I melted his battery, and it overcharged his system and fried all of his electrical components.
I picked that shit up and it was liquid.
Yeah.
And it was hot.
His 12-volt battery had 23 volts in it whenever it was checked.
Oh.
Yeah. But that's those stories are for another time when we start talking about cars and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
We'll save those. I got my gaming PC in about 2018. Started using Steam a lot more. I got a Steam Deck, as I said. I got that, I believe, about a year after they started releasing. I got the base model, the 64 gig, I upgraded it. They don't even sell the 64 gig model anymore. They now sell the 256 for the same price as the 64 gig.
Oh, nice.
That's going to come up later, because we're going to talk about some stuff like that. And, I'm interested in the GameCube, man.
The GameCube.
Yeah, I kind of want a GameCube to connect to my TV for piracy. Because my gaming PC is too far away from my TV. And for context, I have like a 65-inch LG C4 Evo. OLED. Like,
Robert's got the expensive TV that he definitely did not need at the time of buying it.
I needed it at the time. I didn't need it a month after when I got laid off.
Yeah, exactly.
Like that, I bought a truck, and then a month later, I bought an expensive TV, and then a month later, I got laid off. Like, I just made several poor decisions, but at the time, they were reasonable. Like, I was making great money.
Assume that you had continued to work, you would have been fine.
Yeah, and like, I had worked for that company for over a year before I started making
And
kind of stupid purchases.
Yeah, which is reasonable, yeah.
And there was no inclination that there was going to be layoffs or anything. He was working for a school. Okay?
I was working for a coding boot camp.
Yeah. Players through his school, and then they decided they're like, oh yeah, we're not doing this anymore.
Yeah.
They just pulled the plug on the whole program. So.
Kind of. I mean, it still existed for a while after I got laid off, but I got laid off in effectively the great AI uprising of 2024. Looking back, I should have seen the writing on the wall.
Yeah.
But also, you're working a comfortable job. I was sick the day I got laid off. Like, I was not gonna work. I'd put in a request. I wake up and I see a sudden meeting on my schedule. I'm like, okay, I gotta pull myself together and go to this meeting. And that was the meeting where they laid me off.
Well, if you never went to that meeting, they'd never laid you off.
No, they would have laid me
No,
off.
it would have just been via email.
Well, no, they would have rescheduled or whatever. But, you've never been laid off. You've never experienced that.
Yeah.
But Steam, love them, hate them. It's the monopoly we live with.
Yeah.
Is the best way to put it.
Everything's tried.
Screw AI with all them raising the dang RAM prices, freaking 300, 400%. Have you seen the prices of RAM?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Like a kid of
I
RAM, RAM is like $300 to $800 now.
I was arguing with my buddy the other day about whether the PS5 Pro is like if you can make a PC of comparable
Not anymore.
spec. Yeah, and then I was like, I feel like you could, because the PS5 Pro, I think the GPU of the PS5 Pro is comparable to like a 3070, 4060.
Yeah.
So I was like, you can get the cheaper option, get a 3070 or get like the AMD equivalent. You know,
Dude, you can just get an Intel B580 for
Look,
$50.
exactly.
That's what I did.
You can do that. You know, I was like, you can get like fucking 32 gigs of RAM for like 100 something bucks. I went on there, I was like, what the fuck? Why is it 300? Like, what the hell?
I'm glad DDR3 and DDR4 are still pretty cheap.
They are not, though, because they're no longer in
actually-
production.
4 is still reasonable
Yeah.
on the secondhand market at least.
Yeah, but that's going to go up now that's
Oh,
no
yeah.
longer in production. I was looking at upgrading my PC because I'm running like a 5800X and 16 gigs of RAM. And I was looking at upgrading because, you know, Micro Center, we are fortunate enough. I live right up the street from Micro Center.
Yeah.
And a few months back, I helped my brother upgrade his computer. He got a really good deal. And I'm now back in a good financial situation. I mean, I just bought a new MacBook. Like, this is mine. Bought it like a week ago.
Hell yeah.
I'm in a
Crackers
fortunate
progressing.
enough financial situation that I can start not making stupid financial moves, but
Calculated.
calculated. I use my computer a lot for this. I mean, I know it doesn't make money or anything, but it takes time to edit.
It's
I
a
do all the
project. It's
editing.
something that you
It's
were
a hobby.
working on.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
hobby.
like you put in as much effort into it as like a regular job.
And if it costs me $300-400 to upgrade my computer and it cuts editing time in half, why not?
Yeah.
Dude, I was looking at it. They had some amazing Black Friday deals on like the CPU motherboard bundle.
Yeah, like sub 200.
Yeah, sub 200 for CPU motherboard. RAM was $250 minimum.
Yeah,
Like,
it's insane.
Yes.
But see, that's the thing is like you price that out now and you wait for RAM to come back down. But see,
Well, who
then
knows?
your
I don't
CPU
think-
motherboard are going to be outdated.
Yeah.
That's the thing. That's what, honestly, I could probably do. No, they don't have DDR4. I'd probably want to go stick with DDR4 if I was to upgrade, but they don't bundle anything with DDR4 anymore.
to be honest with you, you are just better off trying to find DDR5 at a reasonable price. Once you can snag that,
Yeah.
whether it's through like Black Friday, someone letting it go secondhand, whatever, if you can snag a good DDR5 deal, you can then be like, okay, well my budget was $400.
Yep.
I got this killer kit for $150. I now have $250 to spend on the rest of my upgrade.
This might be when they start pushing DDR6.
Nah, DDR6.
I heard that's in the works. I know AMD's working on their new platform here soon.
DDR6 might be coming out eventually, but you have to think, we've only had DDR5 for about 2 generations on AMD.
That's true. Yeah,
Whereas DDR4 was for 5 generations on AMD.
that's true. Yeah.
Like, it would be stupid to go to DDR6 that quickly. Commercially, they might. Like, you know, commercial manufacturing stuff like that, where you just need
Yeah.
that overhead. And we're reaching the upper limits of DDR5 on memory sticks.
Mm-hmm.
Literally, the stick of DDR5, we can get faster than the traces to the CPU allows.
Jeez.
That's why we're starting to reach the point of memory on chip. I believe it's called like memory on die. Because it's getting so fast. I mean, Apple does it.
Yeah.
Where if you just stick that memory on the die itself, it can communicate faster and you can get faster results. I mean,
Instead of having a stick, it would just be like a chip that you put in.
Yeah.
into your computer. Oh, I see.
well, it's just like,
So
it comes
it's it.
bundled. You
So
just
it
buy a motherboard.
Oh, it comes installed onto it. So you have to buy the motherboard with the RAM spec that you want.
Or no, it'd be the motherboard, CPU, RAM. It's basically like buying a laptop. So
It's like buying a motherboard with built-in Wi-Fi.
Yeah, effectively, like.
To an extent, it's an
it's
add-on.
like buying a laptop that you can plug a GPU into.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. You're just essentially now when you build a computer, you just have to put storage, GPU, and power.
Yeah.
Whatever the fuck power.
Power
Yeah,
supply.
supply. Yeah, thank you.
PS.
issue.
There would be
Pretty
no
small
like
unit.
saving money by, because Nate did that. I mean, we saved quite a bit of money by going with the i5. Granted, it was free,
Yeah.
but I mean, you can go and find a used i7 9700K
Exactly.
for like $100 and plug it into your PC and get a lot more performance.
Yeah. I think honestly, what's limiting mine is just the PCIe
Oh yeah, no.
3.0.
We've had that
for my
discussion.
GPU.
Yeah.
My B580 is running at like maybe 60%.
Well, you know what? You also got a bitch and deal on
Exactly.
that B580.
Exactly.
You got it for less than MSRP when it was still going for more than
Oh,
MSRP
yeah,
on
exactly.
most retailers.
I saw it Black Friday. It was under. It was like 220.
Yeah.
It was like but you know what? I would have waited a whole.
Like 6
4 months,
like.
yeah.
But with that tangent, we're going to go into the Valve summary. Yes, Lewis, I'm doing another summary.
Yay.
So, Valve is the studio behind Half-Life, Portal, Left 4 Dead, Team Fortress, Counter-Strike, and Dota 2. But the real empire is Steam. That's their big money maker.
Oh, big ass mouth.
Steam is the biggest platform in PC gaming. Valve was started in 1996 by Gabe Newell, creator of the GabeCube,
Lord Cupid.
Lord Gabe,
Look, Gaben.
and Mike Harrington. Valve went from making iconic shooters to basically owning digital PC gaming. I mean, even if you buy from other platforms, you know, GOG Gaming, stuff like that, you are getting Steam keys.
Yeah.
Very few places have their own marketplace. Epic has tried. Epic is not like.
That's what I'm about to say. Epic has tried. Would try Blizzard, but
Yeah.
Blizzard, I feel like it's a
Blizzard
little
left,
better.
and then they came back.
Yeah.
Yeah, EA.
But because they have their own IP, but their IPs, if I'm also, they're not on Steam.
No, a lot of them are now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like so Blizzard took Call of Duty off of Steam for a few generations and used the
Because I remember they use their own
Blizzard
platform.
launcher, and it's all back now.
Oh shit! If it's back now,
Yeah.
yeah. So even you see, people have tried. It's not doesn't work, man. Steam's too big of a.
Monopoly
train,
at this
yeah.
point.
But yes, it's a monopoly, but also it's a private company, so it's not beholden to shareholders that are
Yeah.
always trying to generate revenue.
Yeah.
So I hate to say it, it's a good monopoly.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like
It could
utilities.
be a whole lot worse, yeah.
I know utilities are bad monopolies, Lewis.
No, utilities are because if there was competition, it would drive as much as we would like to think that competition drives prices down, it would actually drive prices up.
Yeah, but you also have to remember that with
Because
you
you have-
having no other option, when Duke says, hey, we're increasing rates by 5% so we can afford
Yeah,
to
but
upgrade our infrastructure for all these data centers, you just have to suck up that 5%.
right,
increase.
but the government has the U.S. government has regulations for that to prevent monopolies from taking. It's unlike Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico, for example, has unregulated monopolies on, and a lot of countries do. A lot of third world countries have unregulated monopolies on utilities where there's no government regulation. A lot of times, in order to get, I'm not going to get into that. But long story short, the United States has regulated utility monopolies, and so monopolies aren't always bad. Just how you said, like in this particular case, Steam being a private company, they don't have to act in the interest of the shareholder, right? Because if they act in the interest of the shareholder, everything would be like, I gotta charge for this, I gotta charge for that. You know what I mean? Before we knew it, we're gonna have to pay just to have Steam on our PC. But
Exactly.
luckily, I guess in a sense, the world has been blessed that Steam has stayed private,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah.
You don't have to pay for multiplayer.
Yeah, exactly. And that it could do that real easy, and then
Oh,
we just be SO the fuck out.
Yeah, because I mean, all the other competition does it. You know, Nintendo, PlayStation, Microsoft, they all have to pay for online.
Yeah, but that's always been the beauty of PC. You never.
Exactly.
But
But see, that's the thing. It's like if they were to go public,
They could.
They could be like, "Hey,
Yeah.
all of our other competitors are doing this. Why don't we also do this?
That
The
would-
price of our games are the same as theirs."
They nothing to shout because the dogs are killing each other on the table.
Yeah, that's what would be in the best interest of the shareholder. So that's why it's actually really good that Steam isn't public in that sense, right? Because they can still cater towards their gamer audience and not have to cater towards a money hungry audience.
They can lose money on the Steam Deck to try and get more people to buy Steam games.
Exactly.
So that was a nice little summary. The first topic I want to talk about is, does Valve know how to count to 3? I mean, the title of this topic is very obvious. A common critique of Valve at this point is their outright refusal to make a third mainline game their beloved franchises. Common examples of this is Half-Life 3,
Yeah.
Portal 3, Left 4 Dead 3. And you could say, Half-Life, kind of had 3 with Alex and the episodes, and Portals had the 2-player robot game. It's like, yeah, but those weren't mainline stories.
They weren't another installation into this mainline series.
Yeah,
See, I think Valve has just kind of moved away from making their own games.
well, Half-Life Alex came out not too long ago.
Well,
yeah, but like you said, it
Serious.
wasn't a full, all hands on board. They have, from what I was looking into, because I was kind of doing some research kind of beforehand. Surprisingly,
Yeah.
for Valve, I mean, they let their developers do whatever.
Oh yeah, it's very
It's very nonchalant. Like, they don't really have deadlines. They work on what they want to work on when they want to work on it. There's no push to like, hey. That's not where they're getting most of their money from. That's the thing.
They don't really have a manager. That's more,
Yeah.
hey, I have a creative idea. Can a few people follow me and do this?
Yeah, and
Right.
they delegate a certain amount to it. It's like, oh, this isn't really going anywhere. Shut it down before we.
Lose too much.
Yeah, we waste it. So I think that's kind of why, they've kind of put everything into the platform of Steam. And,
Counterpoint again. Counter-Strike 2.
Yeah.
Like that came out very recently, and Counter-Strike was CS:GO was a very old game. I believe it came out in like 2012.
But see, the thing is like, there was nothing wrong with it. People were still playing Counter-Strike, CSGO. And, it's nice to have like an updated version and a new version of things, but it wasn't necessarily expected. I think that's kind of like, okay, yeah, Valve is making only so many games, if they want to come out with another one, then they will.
Yeah.
But if they don't want to, it's not like Call of Duty where they have to push out a game every single year.
Yeah, I think that pushing out a game or having the agenda to push out a game every single year is like
It's ludicrous.
it's ludicrous, and I feel like it's more deterring.
Yeah, it's more harm than good.
Exactly.
Burnout is a known thing in the industry, and when you are burning out year after year after year,
You're going to flop after flop after flop. I mean, that's why freaking Battlefield came back so strong. They had a really bad 2042. And I mean, they took a lot of time to get Battlefield 6, community and ready at launch as best they can.
but you're not always able to do that.
Correct.
We were
Yeah.
talking about shareholders earlier.
Oh, yeah.
Activision Blizzard, they release a card every year because they have to. Card
Yeah.
sells.
Yeah.
If they have a year that they don't make $1 bajillion on card, the shareholders are going to sue. Why didn't you release Black Ops 8?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it wasn't ready. I don't care if it's ready. Release it. Release all the
Yeah.
packs where it's $20 to get
Yeah,
everything
all the
Yeah.
microcurrency and everything.
Exactly. That's another thing with the shareholders. Like, and here's the thing about it too. Like, as companies get more creative and give more examples of how to make money on games, gaming will just continue to get more and more expensive. What do I mean? Microcurrencies, microtransactions. That was commonplace on phones and whatnot, mobile games. But once games started implementing it into like regular console games, like I have to pay $60 for a console game, and then if I want to continue to not necessarily progress, but if I want to entertain myself in other ways outside of the game, other than the mainline story, I might have to engage in microtransactions, right? And the first game, when COD started doing it, GTA started doing it, and it's become very successful. People do that. You have literally free games. Like, that was unheard of too.
Oh, yeah.
Like, when Fortnite and all these
yeah.
games started coming out,
Fortnite's amazing.
unheard of that a game would be free.
Now, don't get me wrong. I am 100% for free-to-play games with microtransactions.
But I feel like that's a good
That's
a
fine.
good trade-off.
That's
That's fine. But what I'm trying to say is that it starts setting a precedent because now even paid games
Yeah.
do that, right?
And when there's pay to win in a paid
Yes.
game,
Yes.
that is completely unfair when you have certain blocks behind
Yeah.
paywalls that you already have paid to get the game for, and you don't have access to
And
it.
some context, guys. Lewis is a huge pay to win guy in mobile games.
Yeah.
Don't calm down.
I fucking. I love my gacha games, man. I'm a whore for gacha games.
So Lewis knows kind of more than me and Nate when it comes to microtransactions. We grew up on DLCs,
Yep.
microtransactions, and free games, stuff like that. And over the years, it's been more and more prevalent. I think my first example of microtransactions in a game I paid for was Overwatch.
Yeah.
with the loot boxes.
Yes, because here's the thing. DLCs. If you actually think about it, DLCs have actually been around since the PS2. I think.
Oh, well before that.
Yeah, like if you think about, I think the first
An expansion pack in the DLC.
Yeah, exactly. The first big DLC I can think of on the PS2, Final Fantasy VII, the Dogmas thing. I remember the second part of Final Fantasy VII they released Final Fantasy Part 7, Part 1 and 2, but they released an expansion for Final Fantasy VII on the PS2. This is all separate game. I forget what it's called.
I don't remember there being an expansion for 7. I know that there was a movie called like Advent Children.
Right, there was, but there was an actual game that was Final Fantasy VII, but it was like its own separate game. It was like an addition.
There was the spin-off game with Vincent the Vampire, but that was on like the PS Vita or something.
No, there is a Final Fantasy. I have to find it, right? Just
the earliest like expansion DLC I can think of are like MMO.
right. That's one.
Or anything like that, and you could even take it a step further. Any board game that released an expansion was technically the original DLC.
Yeah. I mean, you can have just like Cards Against Humanity or even like
Dirge of Cerberus. That's what it's called. Final Fantasy VII Dirge of Cerberus. It was released as its own separate game, but still like Final Fantasy VII. It was like an elaboration upon Final Fantasy.
Yeah, and that follows Vincent.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. So like, it's not. What I'm trying to say is like
that's not an expansion though. That's spin-off.
Right. But what I mean is like, it's like a precursor. Like DLC isn't fully there yet, right?
Well, it had been though. Around the time that game was coming out, we were getting expansion packs for like WoW.
Oh yeah, just like you said, MMOs. Yes.
Yeah,
But on console, I mean, like on console.
But you could argue that if you consider that, expansion pack / DLC, why isn't Super Mario Bros. 2 considered expansion? It's just Super Mario Bros. But more levels.
Well, I mean, Super Mario Bros. 2 is still like it's a new game. It's like another mainline installment.
Well, Vincent was like you went from an RPG to like kind of a hack and slash.
Yeah.
So I would say that's just
That's
a
like
different game.
Yeah.
Like you were trying to make an argument that a spin-off game was.
I didn't realize it was a spin-off game. I saw it like Final Fantasy VII Dirge of Cerberus.
Now, one argument you could kind of make would be Final Fantasy 13, because there's like Final Fantasy 13, Final Fantasy 13 Part 2, Final Fantasy 13 Return of Lightning.
Like, you see, so DLC has been around, and I mean, just like you said, MMOs, board games, like, DLC has been around kind of since, like, I don't want to say the beginning of gaming, but, like, it followed shortly afterwards. It wasn't called DLC.
No.
It was called expansion pack.
Yeah, exactly.
It was a whole lot easier to just add to an existing thing than it was to make a whole new thing.
Think about our favorite board game, Settlers of Catan.
Yeah, it has a bunch of expansions.
Everything is just
expansions.
Yeah.
Right, and so it's always been around. And so the problem isn't DLC, right? DLC is fine. The problem is when, again, the microtransactions and unlocking more and more features behind
Pay to win.
Because the thing about it is, games back then, they would release games, and the game came as a whole unit. Like, you could play the game, enjoy it. You don't have to worry about DLC. You don't have to worry about paying out everything else. You can, all the enjoyment you can get in the game is in the game.
Remember unlocking fighters in fighting games without doing?
Yeah.
And now it's just, you want to unlock fucking Ryu in Street Fighter 6, better break out the credit card.
Yeah. Exactly. And that's what I'm saying,
like going back and playing like Super Smash Brothers or something like that, you're like, oh crap!
Yeah.
Well, incoming fighter, what?
And so it kind of sucks, right? Because I've had this conversation with Robert off air. One of the things that I dislike the most in any game that could come out is announcing DLC before the game even releases.
Mm-hmm.
Because the developer purposefully left that out of the game.
Yeah.
The DLC is already being worked on, and it's already been thought of as a part of the game. But instead of including it with the game, they're like, no, we know we can make more money off of this by selling it separately, right?
The only exception I see to that rule is if the DLC does not fit the theme of the story. So let's take Pokemon DA for example.
Uh-huh.
They announced Mega Dimensions either before the game came out or right after it came out. and having played the game, the themes behind the A would not really mesh with, hey guys, let's go on adventures in alternate universes.
Right.
That's like a boat. Yeah.
Yeah, that's an idea. That
Where it's
they
a
probably
separate
had
enough topic.
in development where they're like, okay, this is fine. But the Spider-Man on the PS4 video game, I don't remember if they announced the DLC at the same time as release or not, but the DLC plot could have just been a plot in the story.
Yeah.
But if it came after, that's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
But just using that as an example, that story makes sense to put in the game.
Yeah.
You don't have to split it off.
I agree with that. Like, it's one of the. It just has like DLC is meant to be an elaboration upon it, right? And so that's cool. Like,
We should be adding something different than the main story.
exactly. Like, adding the main story should be complete as is, and like when the DLC comes out, like it's just like a TV series, man. Like Dragon Ball Zero, Shippuden, whatever you want to call, right? Jujutsu Kaisen Zero. Jujutsu Kaisen is fine by itself. Zero adds some backstory, right? And so that's like
You don't need to watch it.
entertain me, if you will, DLC to the series,
Yeah.
right? And so it gives it backstory. So as long as it stands by itself,
You should not need to buy the DLC to get the true ending.
Correct. Exactly.
Okay. So one more thing I wanted to bring up regarding Steam not being able to count to free is just market reasons. So big budget single player games are riskier financially now more than ever.
Yeah.
I mean, look at all the games we mentioned: Overwatch, Call of Duty, Battlefield. These are the types of games that come out. People play them. People are complaining about the single player campaign in Black Ops 7 for like 2 days.
Oh yeah.
And then I didn't hear anything about it again because they're all playing multiplayer, they're all buying the skins. Overwatch. We went from Overwatch to Overwatch 2, we went from 6v6 to 5v5. They took out the loot boxes, this, that, the other. People still play. Marvel Rivals, free game, people are buying skins for it. But when you just buy a game, play a single player campaign, there's not really much more money to be made out of it.
Yeah.
Pokemon D8, for example. I'm playing it. It's a perfectly fine game, but there is no way for them to make extra money except for the DLC. of course.
Exactly. Yeah.
But even that's limited. The DLC is like $40, so they're gonna have made $100 off of me if I buy the DLC. Whereas if this was an online game and I want a Pikachu T-shirt, they can charge me $5 for that. They can charge me $20 for a whole fit, and then a month later I get tired.
And so, to be fair, right? So, Pokemon is pushing more of their online battling because we had discussed it earlier. They're not making money off of it. There's nothing more to be made. But
I guess Nintendo is with their online subscription.
Nintendo.
But Nintendo's online is also kind of cheap. I think I'm
It
always
is.
on a year.
Yeah, it's on the cheaper side to the.
And now the other thing is that I think one of the differences is, and you probably already know this, right? Pokemon, all of these are IPs, but Pokemon's also like a franchise, a series at whole, right?
Yeah.
So their games and the series and their merch, they all kind of go hand in hand. That Call of Duty, all these other games don't really have that. Overwatch might have some merch.
Overwatch has all that porn.
Yeah, exactly.
Marvel Rivals, I guess,
Marvel itself.
technically,
Right.
you get people into the comics and TV shows by playing the game,
Exactly. But I don't the game studio at that point doesn't have anymore. But, and so Pokemon can afford to not have to, but that's a rare exception, right? Nintendo's really just a rare exception for all of that. Nintendo's never really had to do that. But these regular, games that are mainly on Xbox, PS5, and just PC, just once one IP does it, all of them start to do it because it's just the same thing. The assembly line, just in every facet of life. Once someone finds a way how to make a process more efficient or make more money doing the same thing or adding minimal effort, everyone does it. And so just like I said, this whole why are we making a third IP? Well, for example, I would love to play Left 4 Dead 3.
Yeah.
Right?
We played Back 4 Blood and it was kind of ass.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But think about it. Being bringing it up topically now. why do you think that GTA 6 has been delayed so much? It's because they're still bringing in hella money from GTA 5.
Yeah, exactly. GTA 5 has been out for a decade and a half.
It's released on the goddamn PS3.
GTA 5 has been out for so damn long that they made
I know.
GTA Online free and then just charge people for the currency.
Yeah.
Think about that shit.
But see, the thing is all the content for online is free.
Yeah. But dude, shark cards, you can't do
That's
anything
it,
without
exactly.
being a millionaire.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But if you want to put in the grind, you can.
Yeah, but
I've never bought a shark card, and I am a CEO of business.
it's one of those things where it was like, remember Battlefield 2? Not Battlefield 2, Battlefront 2. Whatever that Star Wars game was.
Yeah,
Where
Battlefield too, yeah.
It was, you could unlock Darth Vader by completing these challenges, but it was a limited time thing. Someone did the math. It would take you more time to do the challenges than you had to unlock Darth Vader. Or you're just paying $20.
Yeah. Or, that's that aspect. And I was going to say, it's literally what Robert says, right? Dokkan Battle. I love Dokkan Battle. Dragon Ball Z, right? Mobile game, gotcha game. New banner comes out. There's some new units, some new cards.
He's immediately stronger than everyone else.
Yeah, immediately stronger. It's the best card, blows everyone out the water. They release a new event that really you need that card to fucking beat, right? So this game's been out for over like 10 fucking years, right?
Man, I remember playing in high school.
Yeah, like if you beat the damn story and you beat all the events as they come out, like what? They're gonna release this new banner? Like you're out of stones. You're out of the in-game currency. There is no grind for you to do. Even if you're new to the game, you grind your stones, right? There's a limited amount of in-game currency you can grind before you are forced to buy currency in order to continue to play, right? And so, obviously, that's a phone game, right? Regular games, how do they replicate this? Exactly that. They give you a limited amount of time to unlock things, or they make it really difficult to attain the in-game currency, right? Like in Fortnite, you actually don't have to buy V-Bucks to get the skins. You can just save your fucking V-Bucks. But guess what? By the time you save enough V-Bucks to buy a skin, it would have been like fucking 3-4 fucking months to buy one skin that you probably don't even want anymore because the Naruto skin left over 4 months ago. Yeah. So now you have to see if I want that Naruto skin and I haven't saved up my V-Bucks, I gotta buy the V-Bucks.
Dude, Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links. Not Duel Links. Oh yeah, Duel
Master
Links as
Duel.
well, but Master Duel. Dude, I'd love to play me some Master Duel. But you get enough gems to make like one deck, and if you fuck up or you don't get the right doors, you just have to play online with whatever crappy deck you have to try and grind out some more gems. Or you put your credit card in, and you hope using your credit card you can draw the cards you want.
Especially if you're trying to play meta.
Oh, dude, meta.
You have to. There's no way that you can actually save up enough gems to, make your deck. After the ban list, edit it, and then you might just, after the ban list, you might just have to pick a new fucking deck.
This is the wrong episode, but Konami, please, I am praying to you. I'm not religious, I'm praying to fucking Konami.
Yeah.
Release a single player Master Duel with the old school Game Boy, like GTA
Yes.
game. Let me just play through a story
yeah.
using all of the cards in Master Duel in that system, and let me play with my homies. Like, not in, tournament capacity, just, let me battle Lewis.
Yeah.
And charge me $60. I'll pay $60 to just have all the cards unlocked.
Yes.
Or, unlock them as I play through the single-player campaign. Whatever. I just want a simulator that I can play with my homies. I love Yu-Gi-Oh! Yu-Gi-Oh! Does not love me. I'm not competitive in the slightest. I love to just throw down stupid decks with my friends.
Yep.
And it's getting harder and harder to
To
do.
do, yeah. I think, that sentiment isn't just for Yu-Gi-Oh! I think that speaks to a louder sentiment of games in general. There becomes an increasing barrier of entry. Games are literally approaching the $100 mark. Mario Kart World Tour is $80.
GTA 6 is going to be like $120.
Yeah, because they spent over $1 billion.
Yeah, like games, we are, I think to a certain extent, these companies have forgotten who is their place, who is their fan base. It's maybe potentially lower to middle class, right? That's what I'm saying. Because do you actually think rich people? I'm not talking about celebrities. I'm talking about people who are millionaires, are playing games. No, those motherfuckers are out there making whatever the fuck money. They have a lot better shit to do.
And if they're not doing that, they're playing golf.
Yes, exactly.
They're doing rich people hobbies.
Exactly. This is like a middle class, lower class hobby, right? Why is it so expensive to get, like, bro, I can buy an Xbox Series X on my credit card and I'm not going to pay that shit off for the next 5 years. The Xbox Series X is like fucking $700. The PS5
They
Pro,
went up the price
$700.
twice for the
Yes.
Series X.
They upped the price of the PlayStation 5. How is it possible that you release a console, and historically, every console after it comes out becomes cheaper? We release the new generation and it becomes more expensive. I understand there's
External
shortages.
factors.
I understand there's external factors, right?
Still
And-
frustrating.
It's like the car market.
But but here's the thing. I understand it's external factors, but it's external factors that these companies have inflicted upon themselves.
Yeah.
And these prices aren't going to drop when the external factors.
No, exactly because of corporate greed. I think
It's like the price of toilet paper since COVID.
It's literally corporate greed. After COVID, like, I still remember working at Target doing my price changes. Peanut butter went from like a fucking $1 to like $2, right? Marshmallows went from like $1.94 to like $4.
Eggs.
Eggs. Do you think these prices have gone down? No. The economy has somewhat stabilized, right? They could have brought the prices down, but they're like, well,
Now we're
I
making
realize
more money.
we're making more money. People need to buy the food. Yeah, people need to buy this food because that's what they need to eat. So we might as well leave it here. Same thing with video games. People who play video games, like, at the end of the day, if they're gonna play video games, they're gonna want to play video games, and so they're gonna just make more sacrifices. And so it kind of makes the video game marketplace more competitive because now, since there's so much more expensive, gamers are gonna buy less video games. So now they have to be selective about what they buy. So now they make, I guess, the competition.
Yeah.
Effectively, it should make the games better. But that's the thing, it should make the games better. But in reality, all these motherfuckers are doing microtransactions and trying to cheat the player out of the most experience, or like the experience that they could get, the full experience. And so now, instead of making it more competitive so that the player gets a better bang for the buck or better games, it's more like, who can do just enough to sell this player on this game?
Exactly.
That digress. It was kind of like a tangent, but yeah, it's
It was a tangent, but it was kind of an appropriate.
Yeah.
tangent.
It's still talking, Steam and why Steam is the way it is.
Yeah, but we'll move on to our next topic, the Steam Deck. The future of gaming PC or just a cool gadget? So Valve accidentally created an entire market for handheld PCs. People had been trying before. I think it was like GPT had been doing it. They were literally building like mini folding computers that you could play on. Great company. Valve, they took whatever concept other people were doing, they created the entire market.
Yeah.
Everyone followed what Valve was doing.
Yeah, the Xbox has followed suit. They've got a handheld now.
You have Iron Neo doing it. There's so many of these companies. Do you guys have any experience with Steam Deck or other handheld PCs?
Probably the closest thing I have to a handheld PC is just like the Switch would be the closest thing. It's like just the handheld gaming console, and before that it was the DS Lite.
I think the Switch laid down the groundwork so that the Steam Deck could really take off in its own genre.
Yeah. That's a valid point.
Yeah.
Steam Deck really.
Because that was groundbreaking. The Switch too.
But honestly, before the Switch, it was the Wii U that really actually.
No, the Wii U was like a failed concept.
Yeah. It was the failed concept, but that's what brought the idea into reality.
The prototype.
Yeah. It was the prototype that failed, but it was the prototype that gave birth to what we have now.
I don't know. I don't think that really counts. Because then you could go, well, technically the fucking PSP. If you want to go all the way back, then you go, well, technically the Game Boy.
But here's the thing. Here's the one thing I will say.
Because people were jailbreaking PSPs.
As opposed to, yes, people were jailbreaking PSPs, but the intent behind the creation. The PSP was meant to be a handheld, and they were never meant to play the same games as consoles.
Yep.
The Switch released, and it was meant to bring console gaming to the handheld experience.
Which is why I say we can't count the
That's
Wii.
true.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
you had
That's why I say that's what really laid the groundwork for the Steam Deck, and the Steam Deck's just been running. I think it's kind of weird because Steam's doing it backwards, right? Where most companies, or the three big companies we've seen so far, established a console gaming base first, and then they dived into handhelds. Steam did it opposite, right?
Well, no, technically Steam had the Steam machines.
Right, but it failed.
I mean, yes, technically, but they did have a.
They attempted, right? So that's what I mean, though. Like, I don't think if the PlayStation had failed, we would have gotten a PlayStation Portable. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, that makes sense. But Steam was also from the unique situation where people were already buying the games they provided.
Yes.
Steam has taken what was already kind of the norm in consoles, where you sell the console for a loss and make money on games, which console developers can't even really do anymore because, I mean, you can just buy them cheaper elsewhere.
Yeah.
They've nailed it. I mean, everyone's coming to Steam to buy games. They don't have to produce the games or anything. They take a 30% cut on every game sold on Steam.
Yeah.
And the Steam Deck goes, hey, we're just going to open straight into Steam.
Yeah. Do we think that is because Linux has gotten to the point where it is, where, it's, because the Steam Deck doesn't run off Windows, it runs off Linux.
Yeah, so Steam was a big part of that.
Yeah, exactly.
Not going to give it all to Steam, but the Proton compatibility layer was, I believe, based off of Wine. Plus, if you want to check the time that we've been recording,
We're a little bit over an hour now.
a little bit over an hour.
This must have been 40.
Shit, because we're like maybe halfway through.
Might as well skip to the final topic.
Yeah, I guess we're gonna skip the last topic, but we'll keep going here real quick. It's built off of Wine, which
It
allows
says 46 minutes.
46 minutes. Okay, that's good. Which allows for. You stepped on the dog.
I didn't step on the dog.
You stepped on the dog.
I didn't want it to step.
I heard that yelp. Sound like you stepped on a squeaky.
I actually didn't step on the dog. I stepped over the dog.
It's okay.
Forgot left it into the air.
But Steam Deck only really works because of the work that Valve put in.
Yeah.
Yes, Proton Wine, that was all open source and people were doing great. It took a big company to come in and give it that final kick in the ass.
Mm-hmm. But I think that's honestly what Linux needed, was because I know a lot of people have actually been switching since Windows 11. A lot of people have not been happy with Microsoft with that. Especially if you want to do just pure, gaming and stuff like that. A lot of people are
Not pure gaming.
or
Unfortunately, Anti-Cheat is still not the biggest fan of Linux, even on SteamOS. So, if you want to play, COD, Battlefield, stuff like that, you have to use Windows, unfortunately. That is actually kind of what's keeping me from changing my, gaming PC into a Linux machine. Because I do a lot of online gaming with friends. But we'll skip right on to our technically second to last topic. Just going to skip one real quick because we've kind of been going in.
it's been a good discussion.
Yeah, I mean, I think another thing too is kind of Steam is so big in the marketplace that ultimately, when you speak of Steam, it's hard not to talk about the overall state of gaming, right? Because they're such a powerhouse in the market at the end of the day. So
Definitely. Well, the last big topic we're going to talk about today is the new news, the Gabe Cube. It's actually the Steam Machine, and technically Steam Machine 2, but I like the name Gabe Cube. So it is a 6-core, 12-thread Ryzen CPU. It has an AMD RDNA 3 GPU with 28 CUs. Has a combined 24 gigabytes of memory, so 8 gigabytes of GDDR6 VRAM for the GPU, and 16 gigabytes of system RAM. It is aiming for about 1080p 4K resolution gaming with FSR, which is Fidelity FX Super Resolution, so upscaling, which, that's a topic for another day. But 3 gigabytes of RAM for the GPU is kind of limiting. I'm running a 7800 XT with 16 gigabytes of RAM. I know you're running like 12 gigs, you have B580. I think yes, the
3060s.
Yeah, 3060. I think that was an 8 gig card. So that you're the one who's most comparable to it right now. Just going to roll right into the price for the GameCube. Valve has not released the price yet. People are speculating to what it is, but with the increase in RAM costs at the moment, I can see why they are holding off.
Yeah.
It would be stupid for Valve to announce a price right now and then have to pull a Microsoft and go, I know we said $500, but it's going to be $650.
Yeah, that would be a PR disaster, and that one move alone, that one mistake,
That would
it
kill
would ruin it. It just before it even came out.
But Valve has been holding off,
Smart.
and now it's causing another problem. People are starting to speculate,
Yeah.
and speculation is good and bad. So I wrote this up a little. We have YouTubers trying to guess the price.
Yeah, a lot of people have been.
I'm a fan of Blind Tech Tips, so I know what he guessed. He guessed $699, and he said that if he's off by, I believe, $80, he will eat a script or something. He's given himself, no, he'll eat a whole cake. He'll eat a whole cake as a reference to pour all the cake of the line. And so Valve is losing control of the narrative.
Yeah.
Because they are not releasing a price, they're letting people like Linus come out with 700, someone else is going to say 900, someone's going to say 500.
They might get shut down before they even release a price.
And so if Valve comes in at a price that is higher than the community has accepted, let's say everyone agrees with the $700 price. That was what I was saying a few weeks ago. If everyone agrees with $700 and Steam comes in at $800,
Fuck.
yeah.
Or over 1,000 at this
Or
point.
over 1,000.
I mean,
Like,
I'm thinking it's gonna
No,
be.
I'm not
I think it's gonna be up there towards 1,000.
I'll be honest. If it's over 1,000, they might as well.
they
all due
take it out
respect.
back and shoot it.
Yeah, there was no reason to even make the Steam machine if it was gonna be over 1,000. The whole idea is how I said earlier. The whole idea is to bring that PC gaming to console gamers. They are middle class, lower to middle class. If we cannot afford it, why would you even introduce it? That is, I understand that PCs are a little more expensive in general, right? And so, PC gamers tend to make that long-term thing, a little more hardcore. They're willing to save, do whatever the hell. But if it's particularly for console gamers, they're not as super vested into that type
It needs
of
to be
mechanic.
competitive with other consoles.
Exactly. You might as well have not even announced it if it was going to be
Yeah.
$1,000.
Yeah, and I mean, part of the problem is just. I actually lost my train of thought there.
What are the unknowns with pricing?
Well, I was going to say something, but I just completely blanked as my mouth started moving.
And another thing too is the PS5 is so strong, because console gamers, I'm about to shit on console gamers right here. You hear 11 teraflops, this, that.
They don't know what that
They don't know what the fuck any of this is, right? And so,
They just
the
know a bigger number.
PS5, Sony has made some good numbers. They know how to use their words, manipulate their words to talk about it. Because, here's the thing, Sony and I think the PC gaming community have done PCs a disservice because Sony and Microsoft, right, they're talking about their consoles at 4K. And then, if you look up, can PCs run 4K games? You're going to Google whatever the fuck is going to be like, no. PCs can't do it. PCs can't do 4K or anything like that. PCs have been able to do 4K since the 2060, bro. The 3060 series could 100% do 4K, just like the consoles, right? Because the consoles upscale, right? And so the difference is PC gamers prefer frame rates over resolution.
They also prefer native resolution.
Exactly. So guess what? My 3060 can run 4K. My PCs have been able to do 4K way before consoles have. They just can't do it at the frames and the native resolution that we want. Consoles don't care about native resolution. Consoles have had lately an increase on frames, but they're still getting nowhere near as much as PCs, right? And so Sony has been able to take advantage of this and really shove that PS5 superiority and almost make it seem like it's better than PC, right? So that's another obstacle that Steam has to kind of overcome, right? It's just, a lot of this is going to come down to marketing, right? If the PlayStation is Steam's biggest opponent right now, right?
You're also thinking about longevity.
Yes.
It's if you go PC, like we were saying, we were rocking stuff from 2018. That was PS5. You can't play new stuff on a PS4 anymore.
Yeah.
They don't make it.
I mean, one thing to really consider as well is the audience you are fighting for.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
traditional PC gaming tends to be a lot more technical knowledge.
Exactly.
And that's what Lewis was saying with the whole, they want higher frame rates and stuff. If you're building a computer, hey, you have some knowledge of, I want stable 60 FPS minimum. Stuff like that. And especially when you really crank it. I mean, Cyberpunk. You set that bitch to ultra, you do ultra ray tracing, this, that, the other, 4K, even with like a 5090, you may be getting 60 FPS.
Yeah.
So that's why people go, oh, you can't do 4K. Because you can't just crank everything and do 4K.
Yeah.
Whereas in console, they do all the sliders for you. It's like, hey, this is 4K. Whereas compared to a PC, that's going to be a mix of low and medium settings.
Yeah. And again, once again, like they put the sliders for you so you can already have the 4K, but objectively, like, once again, like, you can make the sliders. First of all, you can control what you want to see on a PC. Second, once again, like, if you want the frame rate, you can do it. Dude, like, if you really wanted to, right, the PS4 and Xbox, they were the Xbox One running 4K in their later years, upscaled and whatnot. Yo, bro, 30 frames. Yo, that shit is so easy. You've been like, if you're gonna get 4K on a PC at 30 frames, like you've been able to do that for generations. Now. That shit, you probably do that on a damn 2070.
But I remember what I want to talk about before. Steam can come in aggressively with the price for the GameCube, just like they could in Steam Deck. But there have been reports that they don't want to. They want to make their hardware department not profitable, but self-sufficient. They don't want to be hemorrhaging money with the GameCube and then making it up in the games. Because if they sell the GameCube too cheap, let's say they go balls to the wall, they've already kind of reported that they won't due to the reaction of some people asking them if it's going to be $500, but let's say they release it for $500. Dude, why would an office go spend $1,000 on a Dell Optiplex when they can buy a GameCube for $500 and never buy a Steam game?
Yeah.
But Steam is losing $200 per GameCube they sell, hoping that, okay, well, this guy's going to buy, 100 games over his lifetime of the GameCube.
Not only that, it could potentially fuck up Steam's current system. Just like I said, it's private. And so they have some liberty, right? But if they decide to shoot themselves in the foot, start selling at a loss, they're going to need to make that money up somehow. And then all of a sudden, you could face the potential of paying for online, even though it's never been done. Now all of a sudden, you could have the internal politics to justify online Steam taking a bigger cut from the games that are being sold, and because it is the largest marketplace online, you could potentially drive up game prices even more than what they currently are. Obviously, this is an extreme example, but Steam creating a loss for themselves could do way more harm than it will good at the end of the day.
It's possible.
Yeah. So I just want to wrap this up with what's you guys' favorite Steam but Steam product. Steam Deck, the VR headset, the new VR headset, the GameCube, Steam itself, one of the games.
Steam itself.
Yeah, I just say Steam itself.
Yeah,
The marketplace, the
it's a
sales.
monolith for a reason.
Yeah.
Like the Steam sales, man.
Summer sale,
The reviews,
Black Friday
That was
sales.
actually one of the topics I was going to ask about the Steam sales. How has it affected your backlog of games you just buy but don't play?
Exactly. I feel like it's way easier to amass a game collection on Steam than it is on any other console.
Yeah,
You don't
especially
have to
some
go
of
to
those
summer
bundles,
or
man.
anything.
Yeah, and especially the variety of games. Typically if you're on a console, most of your games will probably be AAA games. But on Steam, dude, you could have stupid little fun games that
Dude, Genital Jousting?
Yeah,
that
Genital
was like a
Jousting.
$2 game.
Yeah, $2 game. You got at least 2 days worth of fun out of it. Just for some last shits, giggles, 10 hours of
Sticking
playtime.
dicks and other dicks.
Yeah. Literally. He never
You know, I know we played it with Ray.
Oh yeah, we played it with General Jousting. It's literally just dicks hitting each other.
Yeah. You're literally just a cock and balls with a butthole. And
Yeah.
the whole goal is try and get your cock in like the enemy's butthole.
Yes.
But see, the thing is, that would never come out on like
Yeah.
a physical copy.
I think we literally picked it up for $2.
Yes, it was literally
Like,
$2.
and it's one of those games where it's literally like 15 minutes of activities, but you play it with the homies at like 2 a.m. You might have a few beers. What's he nibbling on?
Oh,
Just look at the keyboard.
It's a good thing we unplugged the keyboard.
Yeah.
But we're actually going to call this episode here, guys. If you like what you saw, leave a like, subscribe, comment. Also, watch some of our shorts. Some of them are doing pretty good.
Yeah.
I try and cut the funny clips out of videos. I don't think we have that many funny clips in this one.
I don't know,
This
we got a
was
lot
pretty-
of
This is a pretty.
This was a pretty technical episode. I'll see what I can find. But we'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.